and today we're going to continue chapter 2. जैसे कि हम 2 दिन से अध्याय 2 पर हैं, and today I would like to sing a bhajan, a song. It's a Bollywood song come bhajan, and ये बात करता है कि हम सब कुछ, हर सवालों के जवाब हमारे अंदर हैं. ये मैं इसीलिए गाने वाली हूँ क्योंकि इसका एक एक शब्द जो भाव है मेरे दिल को छू गया और मैं बहुत दिनों से गुनगुना रही हूँ. हम अक्सर कहते हैं कि हमारे लाइफ में क्यों प्रॉब्लम है, एक प्रॉब्लम ख़त्म होती है दूसरी आ जाती है, और हर किसी को अलग अलग तरीके की प्रॉब्लम है. हेल्पलेस फील करते हैं, विक्टिम फील करते हैं, विक्टिमाइज करते हैं उस सिचुएशन को, ब्लेम करते हैं औरों को, गिल्ट पैदा होता है, वी आर अशेम्ड और ह्यूमिलेटेड, है ना, परसेप्शंस बनाते हैं और लोगों को जज करते हैं और लोगों को खुद को जज करने देते हैं वगैरह वगैरह. बट बहुत ही 100 में से कोई 1000 में से रादर एक ऐसा इंसान होता है जो उस मुसीबत की घड़ी में संयम, धैर्य, विजडम से काम लेके उसे एज अ चैलेंज, एज अ अपॉर्चुनिटी टू ग्रोथ लेके उसमें अपने आप से भी आगे निकल जाता है या निकल जाती है. जैसे मैंने बहुत उदाहरण दिए हैं. माझी जो मूवी आई थी, एक हथौड़े से पूरा पहाड़ गिराया, लोगों ने कहा ये पागल है, लेकिन जुनून, है ना. एक टांग पे एक लड़की जिसका ग्रुप रेप हुआ वो माउंट एवरेस्ट चढ़ गई. तो ऐसे ही कई किस्से हैं. तो हमें अपनी परेशानियों में घबराना नहीं है. जब आप पूरे टूट जाते हैं, जैसे कहते हैं ना कि अंधकार में सबसे ज़्यादा अंधेरा सूर्य उदय से जस्ट पहले होता है. सो इफ़ यू फील दैट इट इज़ द डार्केस्ट फेज ऑफ योर लाइफ, विच मीन्स नाउ सनशाइन इज राउंड द कॉर्नर, तो जब आप खुद को पूरा भस्म कर लेंगे, खुद को पूरा ख़त्म कर लेंगे, फिर जो निखार आएगा ना, आपको खुद भी नहीं पता. जैसे हिरन के अंदर कस्तूरी है, वो जीवन भर ढूंढता रहता है, भागता रहता है, और उसके अंदर है. तो सेल्फ रिलायंस आपके जो अंदर है ना, जो वो निखार आ गया, फिर आपको किसी की ज़रूरत नहीं. आप खुद में संपूर्ण हैं और पूरी दुनिया आपके पीछे भागेगी, और बस आप सिर्फ देना चाहेंगे, लाइक अ गिव अप. तो मैंने इसकी बहुत ज़्यादा प्रैक्टिस नहीं की है. अभी इससे पहले मेरी पामिस्ट्री की क्लास थी. इन दैट पामिस्ट्री क्लास आई sang this song and I've just grabbed a bite in 5 minutes. Saturday, Sundays are like back to back. So now I'm going to sing this to you. Okay? So here it goes. चिंगारियाँ ये जो मेरे सीने में है दफन, इनको जरा देके हवा बन जाऊं मैं अगन. चिंगारियाँ ये जो मेरे सीने में है दफन, इनको जरा देके हवा बन जाऊं मैं अगन. दहक रहा है बन के शरारा, देख मेरा बदन, सब कुछ मेरा करके फना करता हूँ मैं हवन. ओम देवा देवा, ओम देवा देवा नमः, नमो नमः. ओम देवा देवा, ओम देवा देवा नमः, नमो नमः. ओम देवा देवा, ओम देवा देवा नमः, नमो नमः. ओम देवा देवा, ओम देवा देवा नमः, नमो नमः. महसूस खुद को मैंने किया जब तूने छुआ. ओम देवा देवा, ओम देवा देवा नमः, नमो नमः. ओम देवा देवा, ओम देवा देवा नमः, नमो नमः. इश्क हमारा नहीं ये फितूर है, रिश्ता पुराना कोई तो जरूर है. रिश्ता हमारा नहीं ये फितूर है, इश्क पुराना कोई तो जरूर है. आके मिले हैं रास्ते, ये रास्ते, ये रास्ते, तू है हवा का झोंका, मैं आग हूँ, तू रागदारी है मेरी, मैं राग हूँ, तू है हवा का झोंका, मैं आग हूँ, तू रागदारी है मेरी, मैं राग हूँ, मैं जी रहा हूँ तेरे इंतजार में, आवाज दे, आवाज दे, तेरी सराय ढूंढ रहा था, मेरा बन जा रामन, सब कुछ मेरा करके फना करता हूँ मैं हवन। ओम देवा देवा, ओम देवा देवा नमः, नमो नमः। ओम देवा देवा, ओम देवा देवा नमः, नमो नमः। महसूस खुद को मैंने किया जब तूने छुआ, ओम देवा देवा, ओम देवा देवा नमः, नमो नमः। ओम देवा देवा, ओम देवा देवा नमः, नमो नमः। ओम देवा देवा, ओम देवा देवा नमः, नमो नमः। ओम देवा देवा, ओम देवा देवा नमः, नमो नमः। ओम देवा देवा, ओम देवा देवा नमः, नमो नमः। थैंक यू। अपने भीतर छुपी कस्तूरी को पहचाने, अपने भीतर छुपे हुए खूबी को पहचाने, बहुत संतोष, बहुत धैर्य, बहुत पेशेंस आएगा। Okay, let's proceed. So yesterday we were talking about the argument that Krishna was having with Arjuna, saying that as per the morals and as per the religion and our conditioning and whatever we've been taught, we cannot fight our elders, even if it is a verbal argument, they abuse us or whatever, they are harsh with us, there's a harsh treatment, we have to take it. That's what our religion says. Our gurus, our parents, our great grandparents, our elders, they are somebody to be worshipped. So even if they are wrong, we have to take it. So, and Krishna was trying to do reasoning with him about the healthy compassion, because normally we use word compassion at wrong places, it becomes unhealthy. So he spoke about a term, he named it as materialistic compassion. Okay, and then I further added my line to it, saying that just like time, energy and money, you should wisely spend your compassion. Where to spend, how much to spend, very, very important. And I give few examples also from my public dealing and counseling cases, wherein how girls come and they're crying and sulking that they can't move on, or maybe they're in an abusive relationship, how the partner is treating them in a bad way. So and they can't move on, they feel compassion because he's alcoholic or whatever. And I keep telling them that self-love is directly proportional to your partner's love. If you cannot love yourself, what right do you have to expect your partner to love you, and things like that. So we spoke about compassion in the right light. So today we are continuing to where we left yesterday, wherein Krishna said that you're mourning for what is not worth of grief. We've, since 2 days, today is the third day, we've been talking about how Krishna is talking about running away to the forest, and he's okay begging, but he will not fight against his family. He says that what's the point, even if I win, if I get defeated, I get defeated. Even if I win in this case, then my hands are tainted with blood. And when you don't have your family, then whom do you relish this happiness with? So it's hollow. Okay, so he wants to run away. That's not his weakness, because he's soft hearted, that is his love. So he's in grief, he's sad, and that's why this argument. So today we're going to talk about that, Arjuna. So like I keep saying, it's not a book reading, I just underline and read the some important lines. So Arjuna argued that religious principles should be given more importance over politics or sociology for that matter, but he did not know that knowledge of matter, soul and the supreme is even more important than religious stuff. So then now Krishna, the Updesh will come much later, but now the Krishna is already telling him that the body is born and it is destined to be vanquished today or tomorrow. It's a matter of time, right? Whosoever has been born, whosoever has taken birth has to go also to the final abode. It's just a matter of time. Therefore, the body is not as important as the soul. The soul is the main thing rather. So one who knows this is actually the learned person, and for him there is no cause for lamentation, regardless of the condition of the material body. So Krishna is telling them. So never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings in future also. Whether you talk about Bhishma, whether you talk about Dronacharya, they were there. In fact, for that matter, like I keep relating it to present day scenario, and I've been talking that why today also we are in Kali Yuga, referring to Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Gita. Why is it being taught internationally, Oxford University, different places? Because it has emphasis and importance in day-to-day life today also. So I keep giving example. So now in this context, we always say that your present life family members were your biggest enemies in the previous life, isn't it? So your mother, father, your siblings, your husband, your children, okay, all the dear ones that you are ready to give your life for, just like that, they were actually your enemies in the past life. And that is why your karma remains, debit credit of karma, and that is why they've come to stay with you in the same household कि तुम भी मेरा सर फोड़ो, मैं भी तुम्हारा सर फोड़ता हूँ. And to that extension, that's why we say that इस जन्म में किसी से भी ना प्यार का और ना नफरत का इतना पालो, वरना फिर वो अगले जन्म में फिर मामा, ताया, चाचा, सास, मौसा क्या रूप लेके आएगा पता नहीं, बट आएगा. तो डिटैच करो. दैट इज व्हाई वी टॉक अबाउट इट. सो इफ यू रियली हेट समबडी ना, सोच लो, फॉरगिव नहीं किया, हेट रखी, तो फिर वो अगले जन्म में और करीब आ जाएगा आपके. आप जान छुड़ाना चाह रहे हो, ठीक है. सो बंधनों से मुक्त होना है ना, उनको फॉरगिव करना और मूव ऑन करना है. नई बात समझ में आ रही, आप अलग हो जाओ, है ना. यू डोंट हैव टू कन्विंस एवरीबडी अबाउट योर सेल्फ. अगर कोई आपके साथ नहीं तालमेल बैठ रहा, तो आप ग्रेसफुली अलग हो जाए. दैट्स वेयर इट एंड्स, है ना. छीका छाटी पे एक दूसरे पे कुछ करने के डजंट मेक सेंस, एंड जस्ट वॉक ऑफ ग्रेसफुली, okay, so that you are ending the karma. Okay, now we've, Bhagavad Gita talks about a lot of books. It talks about Vishnu Puran, a lot of other books, but it is said that Bhagavatam Gita is the prime book. That's the main book, and a devotee will go to the depth. The non-devotee approach of to the teachings, the Gita, is something like that of a bee licking on the honey bottle. So what is a bee licking the honey bottle? You're licking the bottle outside. You've not opened the bottle, so you don't know the actual honey. So a non-believer in Bhagavad Gita or a non-devotee will not know the real taste until you get into it. So the mysticism, okay, the real mysticism about Bhagavad Gita is only understood by somebody who gets into it. So for that you need surrender and belief. If there's no receptivity, no matter how much energy, in Reiki also, like I teach Reiki and other healing modalities, I keep sending you even through distance whatever energy and uja and magic and symbols. But if you're not receptive enough, you will not get it. That's what we're talking about here. Again, I'm relating it with healing and today's scenario and counseling. So there was no cause for lamentation or sulk or whatever by Arjuna on account of death. Neither for Bhishma death or Dronacharya. Assumptively it happens because the war is still to begin. So because he's so concerned, Arjuna, that they will die and whatever, so rather he should rejoice for changing of bodies. They are already in the old body, so if they die, sooner or later eventually they have to. The new body that they take, it will be with rejuvenating their energy. So he should see in that perspective rather than running away. Why this fear of death? For yourself or for others? Death has to come. Just you have life, then there's death. Okay, so there it has to come. Okay, I'm not reading the shlokas yet. So then he says, O son of Kunti, You have to understand that this is very, very important aspect. I've been doing workshops on anger management or stress management, right? How to get out of depression. So there is happiness also, and there are stressful situations also. Happiness, we go over the board. We are so happy that, oh wow, we are the king and queens. And when something goes wrong, there's distress, there's stress, people are popping in bills, you get depressed, insomnia, you can't sleep, you victimize it again, those kind of things. So you have to basically understand the non-permanence of happiness and distress. They will keep coming and going like a season, and I'm going to read it out to you also, but I'm explaining. Just like summer will come, winter will come, seasons will come and go. They're not permanent, it's a cycle, they come and go. Okay, of course, with the change of season, you will make changes in your lifestyle. So when it is winters, you will wear sweaters and jackets. Summers, you will wear shorts or whatever, cut sleeves. So you make necessary changes, and that is wisdom. Okay, if you don't have wisdom, it is summer and you're wearing 3 layers of sweater. That's stupidity. Okay, according to the climatic change. So you have to use wisdom when there's happiness, when there's stress. So there is a non-permanence of these things. They'll keep coming and going like a cycle. Upar niche, upar niche, upar niche, like a graph. Trough and crest, right? So he says, O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and the disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, sensory perceptions. And then he says, O son of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being getting disturbed. So if you have to wear sweater or shorts, you don't get disturbed by it. You don't get into depression by it, right? So it's just a lifestyle change that you do. So similarly, whether it is happiness or whatever, it should not hit here or hit here. That's the thing. Okay. So in the proper discharge of your duty, we all have our KRAs. We all have our respective fields. In that, one has to learn to tolerate the non-permanence, appearance and disappearance of happiness and distress. So now, adding to that, according to Vedic injunction, one has to take bath early in the morning, let's say in Brahmurta. So there are people even in the month of Magha. Magha is as per the Indian calendar. So we say January or February. They still get up in the morning and take bath. Doesn't matter if it is winters. Similarly, there are ladies who like to cook food for their family and themselves. Even if it is May, June, whatever, it's hot, they will still cook. So there are climatic inconveniences for them, that's okay. And then they can make some lifestyle changes also. Like summers, okay, I'll keep a cook or whatever, but they don't take it here and here. Similarly with happiness and sadness. So basically he's saying Krishna, in continuation to the argument, Krishna is telling Arjuna that you have to fight. See, fight will only happen with a friend or relative, na? Somebody on the road said something you don't even know, you don't care, you don't bother. So if there is a अगर फाइट की सिचुएशन आ गई है, वो हद आ गई है, तो वो फ्रेंड या रिलेटिव ही तो होगा. हाँ, somebody connected only, that's how we get hurt. हमें किसी की बात बुरी कब लगती है? जब कोई अपना होता है ना. आप एक बात जान लीजिए, बहुत गहरी बात है, सुनने में बहुत सिंपल लगे, बहुत 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 गहरी बात है. प्यार और नफरत एक ही सिक्के के दो पहलू हैं. आप किसी से भी बहुत ज़्यादा नफरत नहीं कर सकते अगर आपने उसे कभी बहुत ज़्यादा प्यार ना किया. आपकी कहीं ना कहीं उनसे एक्सपेक्टेशन, उम्मीदें नहीं मिली और इसीलिए वो नाराज़गी आपकी नफरत में बदल गई. गहराई में जाके देखिएगा. आप आज की डेट में एज एन एग्जाम्पल कोई भी ले लें जिससे आप बहुत नफरत करते हैं, आपको खुंदक है, और आप कुछ साल पहले चले जाएं रिवाइंड, आप उससे बेपनाह प्यार करते होंगे, आपको उसकी बहुत चिंता होगी, उसको आपको उसकी फिर कोई बात अच्छी नहीं लगी होगी. आपके अकॉर्डिंगली, वो अपने अकॉर्डिंगली अपनी लाइफ जी रहे हैं ना. आप क्यों कंट्रोल करना चाहते हैं? आप ईश्वर है क्या? आपके हिसाब से थोड़ी ना सब चलेंगे, है ना. तो कहीं ना कहीं आप हर्ट हुए और वो प्यार नफरत में हो गया. तो जहाँ प्यार है वहीं नफरत होगी. जहाँ कभी प्यार था वहाँ नफरत ही नहीं हो सकती. आपको क्या फर्क पड़ रहा है कौन क्या बोल रहा है? ओके. सो he's saying one has to follow the prescribed rules and regulation of the religious principles, and he's talking about Maya and illusion again. So now he's calling Arjuna with different name. Like day 1, day 2, I've spoken about various different names of Krishna, like Gopala, Madhusudan and all. So Arjuna also here is referring to different names. Okay, Bharata because of his father side. Then Kuntiya because he is Kunti Putra. So we have to know that Arjun basically had a great family heritage from both the sides. paternal and maternal. Okay, so he is telling him that you cannot avoid fighting, you have to take care of that. Okay, so and then he's saying the person who's not disturbed by either happiness or distress is actually eligible for liberation. If you want to get liberated, if you're talking about spiritual growth, then you have to keep that balance. You can't say that I'm a seeker and I'm doing my sadhanas और आपको बहुत गुस्सा भी आता है. मुझे बहुत गुस्सा आता था पहले, बहुत गुस्सा. और मेरी मॉम बोलती थी तुम में इतनी खूबी है पूजा, जिस दिन तुम्हारा गुस्सा खत्म हो जाएगा ना, तुम दुनिया की सबसे महान इंसान बन जाओगी. ओके, सो एंड आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड दैट टुडे, है ना. बट जहाँ पे इतनी ऊर्जा है, जैसे एक बांध है, उसकी ऊर्जा को जब तक कंस्ट्रक्टिव वे में नहीं किया तो वो डिस्ट्रक्शन हो जाती है. तो बस दिशा का, जैसे वेक्टर हम स्कूल में पढ़ते थे ना, डायरेक्शन बदली प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व. बट ये काउंसलिंग और गाइडेंस देने के लिए टीचर को या पेरेंट्स को विजडम चाहिए. कई बार कोई बात नहीं, ठोकरे खा के आपको सीखना होता है तो आप सीख जाते हैं. सो यू हैव टू बी इक्वली टॉलरेंट एंड विद पेशेंस. पेशेंस आपके अंदर ज़रूरी है, धैर्य होना ज़रूरी है. हैप्पीनेस और डिस्ट्रेस को आप सेम रूम में देख पाएँ तो लिबरेशन आता है. ओके, सो दे टॉकिंग अबाउट ऑल दैट इन दिस. एंड देन one another beautiful point that they're talking about next is that we've almost done 100 pages in 3 days. Wow. And I'm going slow. I don't plan to either complete even chapter 2 today also. Let it go for 2 more days. Okay, we don't have to hurry it up. It's not necessary that 18 chapters of Gita we have to complete in 18 days. We'll do bits and pieces, okay, so that everybody can digest it. And like I said yesterday, whatever learnings you have, please maintain a journal, write it down in your copy and start implementing it in your day-to-day life. So like yesterday lesson was where to spend compassion, where to use compassion. So day-to-day life, if you have an argument with your boss, neighbor, see if compassion needs to be applied or not. Okay, don't waste it. Don't throw it. Just like your love, the other person has to be deserving to get your love. It's not something that you distribute just like that freely. Okay, so then he is saying that everybody is conscious of their pains and pleasures on their body. Okay, if you hit me somewhere, I feel pain. If you probably give me a massage, I feel happy. But they are saying how many of us can feel the pain or pleasure of other people in our body. That's the level of intensity that we're talking about. So everyone is conscious. We're talking about consciousness here. We've been talking about Krishna consciousness. We've been talking about consciousness. Everybody is conscious of the pains and pleasures of the body in parts of whole body of the others. Now this spreading of consciousness is only limited to one's own body. And because everybody, consider themselves as an individual soul. But then there's something known as, like in Akashic Record course, I talk about universal consciousness. Okay, Vishwa Kutumb is something different, something very small, Advaik, and there's so many things that we talk about. Then he's talking about soul. That soul is atomic in size, like an atom, very, very small, very tiny. And atomic soul is floating in the air. Okay, now very, very important, I've seen Sadhguru also talking about it. There are 5 kinds of air. So we know there are 5 elemental. We know there are 5 elements, Jal, Vayu, Agni, Akash, Prithvi. Okay, but in air also there are 5 components, and when somebody dies, death happens, then these leave one by one. So like that. So prana, apana, vyana, samana and udana. Okay, so it takes time. अगर कोई मरता है तो कुछ घंटे के बाद पहले एक जाता है, फिर थोड़ा जाता है. इसीलिए कुछ प्रोसेसेस उनकी बॉडी में रहते हैं. अगर डेड बॉडी को कुछ दिन रखें तो आप देखेंगे उनके नाखून बढ़ते ही जा रहे हैं, दाढ़ी आती ही जा रही है. बिकॉज प्राणा, अपाना, व्याना, समाना, उदाना जाते जाते 13 दिन लग जाते हैं. ठीक है. सो दिस एटॉमिक सोल इज फ्लोटिंग इन दीज 5 काइंड्स ऑफ एयर. एंड गोइंग फॉरवर्ड वी गोइंग टू talk more about these 5 different airs. So 5 elemental, within that air also 5 components. Today I've taught you. Please write it down in your journal. Prana, Apana, Vyana, Samana and Udana. Okay. And in the comments, do mention if you have any questions or any feedback to it for improvisation. Okay. Now, where is this located? The 5 kinds of air? Anahata, your heart. Now, having spoken about that, just like Reiki, I also teach magnified healing. There also we connect that twin flame and everything here. And then we connected with the Mother Earth and the universe. So there's a connection, good grounding, balancing, centering. So top Shiva, masculine, bottom Earth, Shakti, you become Ardhanarishwar and you connected with heart. All the meditation you see, your Nad, Brahm, everything happens and ends at heart. So that is where it is. Then they are also giving example of Hatha Yoga. Now a lot of times people say, yoga, patli ho rahe hain, yoga karo, yoga karo. No, that's just one of the byproduct. Yoga just like Reiki, जैसे बोलते अरे खांसी होगी बुखार हो गया Reiki करो treatment. These were tools for sadhana, your spiritual sadhana. Everything else is a byproduct. Now within yoga also you have Ashtanga yoga, you have Hatha yoga, you have different forms of yoga. And I think last year on Yoga Day we did a one big program on yoga and we discussed things from Upanishads and lot of stuff, lot of theory I covered with you. If you're still interested, you can watch, you can look for the video on our YouTube channel, it must be there. It was a live show like that, like this only. So in particular, they're talking about Hatha Yoga right now. They're saying it is not just some, composition or collection of some poses to lose weight, but it is again, it works on your soul level, okay, by Hatha Yoga also. Similarly, pranayama. When you focus on your breath, inhalation and exhalation, basically that is your sadhana. If somebody just focuses on pranayama, there's so many different kinds of pranayama, so many of them. I bet nobody knows all. So just with that, you can attain moksha. It can be a sadhana in itself because you're going within. Okay. So then more is mentioned on Mundaka Upanishad, like I said. Bhagavad Gita keeps referring to other Indian scriptures also, okay, about the atomic soul and all. So that is there. And I think let's take a break here today and let's meet tomorrow in day 4 of Bhagavad Gita. And we've done 17 shlokas of chapter 2 today. So we'll continue from 18 shloka tomorrow. And if you guys are interested, I will also read shlokas to you. Just leave comments, okay, with your feedback. We'll do whatever suits everybody. The purpose or the intent of this is to have growth and to learn and to grow. Okay. Thank you so much. I look forward to reading your comments to make it better and better. And also you are more than welcome to share it with others if you feel it will benefit them. Thank you so much. Namaste. I love you all.